on the leaderboard beside him. It matters to them and the circus that's going on around them.
Yeah, I agree, which is why I don't think he has to redefine. Maybe he has to redefine the way he wins, but I don't think he needs to redefine what he's here to do.
A great example is Augusta. I mean, you've got to find, and I'm sure he did find the positives in Augusta. You have to. But when you've been through what he's been through, most guys would just call it a day and just say, okay. But that's not him. No, and he still thinks he can win. And it's that belief that's getting him through every day, is that he still wants to compete, he still wants to win, he still believes he can win. But after Augusta, he had to go, okay, I don't have, and I don't know if I'm ever going to have what I used to have, so I have to, this was a win. He had to say to himself, okay, this was a win getting through 72 holes.
Last thing, Eamon, there's less hype around him teeing it up this week for sure than there was at the Masters, right?
No. We have the word number 1, the word number 2, and the word number 3 going out together, and it's not the most talked about group. The most talked about group going out is Tiger, Jordan.
But there's not as much hype as there was building up to him teeing it off.
Not in the sense that it's no longer the comeback. It's not the first appearance. But you're going to see who the crowds are out with their $18 beers, who they're following here on Thursday morning. All of them.
And you've just given a teaser to another featured group that we haven't revealed just yet, so if you weren't listening, we will get you to some more of those. But Tiger Woods, played his college golf, don't forget, at Stanford University, where he won the 1996 NCAA individual title, and he was also the recipient of the Fred Haskins Award that same year. The Fred Haskins Award, presented by Stifel, is awarded annually to the most outstanding male collegiate golfer. So let's take a look, shall we, at some former winners who are in the field this week. Tiger, of course, one of them, Patrick Cantlay, another, Matthew Wolff, Justin Thomas. Plenty of big names to choose from who have been so impressive in their collegiate careers. Well, John Rahm did not win the Haskins Award, but no doubt still had a wonderful career at ASU as part of his college days, and sounds as though he will be playing alongside the world number 1 and 3 this week. We'll have more detail on those tee times as we continue our coverage live from the PGA.
Welcome to Allstate, where everyone saves when they bundle their home and auto insurance. Isn't that right, Frank?
I saved 25%. Booyah.
You protected your casa?
Sure did.
And a Frank tank?
You know it.
And now you're relaxing.
I'm working from home.
Sure you are.
All right, I see a lot of head nods. Let's circle back tomorrow.
You aren't kidding. Save up to 25% when you bundle home and auto with Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
Golfballs.com is the world leader in customized golf balls. Let us help to promote your company, tournament, or event with custom logo golf balls from the very best brands in golf. Call or request a free quote at golfballs.com, the world leader in golf customization.
Saved our money, and now we get to spend it our way.
But we worry if we have enough to last.
For retirement planning, investment advice, and more, look for a CFP professional. CFP professionals can help you craft a complete financial plan that gives you confidence today and tomorrow. Find your CFP professional at letsmakeaplan.org.
Our Confident Forever plan is possible with a CFP professional.
Comes more. Get more with Neutrogena Retinol Pro Plus, a powerful 0.5% retinol that's also gentle on skin for wrinkle results in 1 week. Neutrogena for people with skin.
Improve your game with every swing. Track your performance with accurate real-time feedback. Play championship courses anytime, rain or shine, day or night. SkyTrack, the affordable professional-grade launch monitor and simulator, designed for the pro in all of us.
Well, in 2017, 2019 at the Quail Hollow Club, it was a 24-year-old Justin Thomas who broke through for his first major championship victory. He fired a final round 68 to finish 2 clear of Francesco Molinari, Patrick Reed, and Louis Oosthuizen. If you take a look at what he has done since that victory in this major championship, well, he didn't play in 2019 and he made cut last year at the Ocean Course. It was an incredibly challenging week for some with the conditions that lay there on Kiel Island. Finished tied 6th in his defence in 2018, which was a pretty impressive performance, and tied 37th at the TPC Harding Park in 2020. Let's get his impressions ahead of this one, as he is now with the media.
Justin Thomas, the 2017 PGA champion, is joining us at the 104th PGA Championship. Justin, you made the voyage to Tulsa earlier this spring to play Southern Hills, I assume, for the first time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Give us some of your thoughts.
I loved it. I thought as soon as I came here, I came Monday last week with playing Byron Nelson, and I loved it as soon as I saw it. I mean, I just like the old school type of design and golf course, you know, tree lined, big fall offs and runoffs on the greens, and the Bermuda grass makes it very difficult to chip, so it puts a premium on, you know, having different techniques and different styles around the greens, and also puts a premium on ball striking to where you can hit the green where you have to chip less. So I think this is an unbelievable major championship venue, and yeah, I'm glad glad it's here. This is a sweet place.
Very good, thank you. Question on mic number 1, please.
JT, we talked at the Masters about how you felt like you underachieved in majors up to this point in your career, and then you had kind of a strange tournament with the opening round, and then fighting your way back for a backdoor top 10. What are you looking back on that week at Augusta? What do you take from that?
I mean, I take a lot of positives. I was, I think, pretty far back as an understatement after the first day, and it just was one of those kind of freak days where I just couldn't, you know, just woke up not really into it. Just had a very hard time getting focused, and but at the same time, you know, I got to be better at finding a way to get in that zone and get in that focus, and I just didn't do it that day. And you know, it's hard to win any tournament, let alone a major or the Masters, shooting 76 the first round. And I fought back really well, played really good round of golf on Friday, and then again on Saturday, and just kind of scraped it around on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, if it was looking at the week as a whole after Thursday, it was a solid week. As a whole, it is what it is.
And last week you were up near the lead, making a bunch of birdies, but you didn't win. And I almost wonder, is that better before a major to not have to deal with kind of everything that comes with winning, but to have a week like that boosts confidence?
I'm not sure. You know, I usually don't play before majors, so I'm just trying something different this year for this. But excuse me. I don't know. I'll let you know Sunday.
Question on mic 6.
Justin, with the PGA not being here since 2007, the course has obviously changed a ton since it was last year. But with the senior here last May, did you reach out to anybody who may have been here to maybe ask for some advice or anything with it being your first time playing here?
I didn't. I probably should have done that. No, I did not.
Question on mic 13, please.
Hi, JT. 2 questions, if I may. Firstly, obviously surreal to have a major championship without the defending champion here. Do you have sympathy for him, or do you feel he's a big boy, he's made his own bed, he has to lie in it?
I don't really have an opinion. I mean, I'd never wish bad on anybody. It's just I'm here to try to win a golf tournament and try to win the PGA Championship, and I think it's going to be an unbelievable venue and a great week. Regardless, I mean, yeah, it's obviously a bummer for him, but I don't feel very strongly one way or the other. I'm just here to take care of business.
Secondly, what do you envisage the end game or the best possible outcome of this whole Saudi situation being? Rory said a couple of months ago it was dead in the water. He's now admitted he maybe jumped the gun on that, but it's clear that Greg Norman isn't going to go away quietly.
I don't know. I mean, I'm very content with the direction the PGA Tour's going, and I think it's just continuing to get better and better very quickly, too. And I think a lot of players feel the same way, which is very important, and we have a lot of loyalty to the tour. They've done a lot for us, and I mean, that's the thing. We've all said, yeah, things could be better, but, you know, it's the same thing as if you went and played that. Like, you would want things better anyway. Like, why would we all want things better than we have it? I mean, so, I'm not sure what the end game is going to be, and I think a lot of people very similar to myself are just kind of ready for it to happen or not, and just us to stop answering questions about it.
Mike 8, please.
7.
Up 7, sorry.
I'm not ready. Hey JT, I was just watching you hit all different kinds of wedges on the range yesterday. It was so cool, and I'm just curious, like, has that always been a big part of your practice? And if not, like, has that been something you've been like working on in recent years to improve?
I mean, I shouldn't say always. I've probably the last handful of years, I've liked working the ball more. I feel like it's very situational. I mean, you get a soft week. The greens aren't very fast. Working the ball doesn't benefit or help that much. If you get a week like this week where if these fairways get firm, you're really going to have to work the ball to hold a lot of fairways, or work the ball to hold the greens and working the ball up the slope and whatnot. But I mean, it honestly was just the first time I played competitively with Tiger. I just asked him, and I was like, you know what? We've played a lot of fun golf together, but that was the first competitive round. You know, what do you see? And he's like, you got to move. You don't move the ball enough. And for me, that was like all right. Well, he's pretty good, and he said that I should probably try it.
Mike 5, please.
Hey, what happened? Justin, welcome to Tulsa. Glad you're here. You've had the opportunity to see the golf course now a couple of times. What stands out to you, or are there certain holes or sections of the golf course that stand out to you? And what, in your eye, or what do you anticipate you'll have to lean on in order to win this weekend?
I don't know. It just seems like a place where you can't fake it around. You can't, just kind of slash it around off the tee. I mean, the Bermuda grass makes it very difficult to control your distance in terms of approach shots into the green. You never know what you're going to get with the player in terms of how firm and fast it's going to get. But, I mean, if it gets firm and fast, this is going to be U.S. Open-like. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be a challenge, but a good, fair challenge. I think the PGA, at least from what I've heard, I haven't been on the golf course. I just practiced a little yesterday, and I'm going to go out this afternoon. From what I've heard, they haven't pressed the greens, which is smart from the amount of undulation and slope that's on them. For me personally, I think it's going to be a big week for driving. I think if I drive the ball well, I'll have a really good chance to win. And I mean, obviously, any major, scrambling and making those key up and down par saves is always crucial.
Mike 3, please.
What's the specific challenge of Bermuda rough?
I mean, just chipping or full swing or what?
I guess both irons and then chipping too.
It's like anything. It's just judging the lie, and then once if you have the technique and you judge the lie, then you should be able to execute how you think it's going to come out, especially around the green. I mean, when you have a fly or lie, there's times where I have a 7, 8, 9 iron, and I feel like I can just hit it as far as I want. I could hit it. I could kind of chip it and land at 160, or I could, kind of put it middle of my stance and really hit down on it steep and let it jump up in the air and fly at 200 or 210. Like, it's just, but a lot of that is like the rest of your game is controlling it and knowing when to use it, when not to use it, and just playing smart. So, I mean, around the greens is tough as well. You just have to, you got to practice it. It's one of those things. It's, I mean, I remember we had a kid from Ireland come play at Alabama, and he hadn't played a lot of Bermuda, obviously growing up in Ireland, and it was tough for him. And I think people that don't play in Bermuda a lot, it is difficult to learn.
Behind me on 8.
I realize you get asked a lot about when you're going to win your next one, but is there any part of you that thinks back and having won one at an early age, nice to get that out of the way in terms of people who are now getting looked upon as when are you going to win?
Yeah, I mean, I would rather have 1 than 0. I totally understand what you're saying. It's a lot harder to get the second than I thought it would be, I think, internally. I think not as much pressure externally, but just on me, it's like, I mean, obviously when you win one, to get to where you want to go, you have to win the next one. And, when you get on a little bit of a drought, it can be frustrating, but I'm just trying to stay patient and understand that a lot of great players with unbelievable Hall of Fame-like careers have multiple major winners, haven't even won one till they're 30 or 35. And it's like, you never know. One year I could win 2, 3, 4 majors in a year. Like, I just have to be patient and just hope it happens sooner rather than later.
Just as you observe kind of the landscape we're in, I mean, the best who have never won a major, those guys used to be in their mid-30s. Tom Kite was 42 and was getting the question. Do you get a sense that I don't know if bar is the right word or label is being attached at younger ages than ever before?
100%. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I'm sure for Victor Hovland to come up here and then be like, when are you going to win a major? It's like, dude, you've been out here for 3 years and like he's won however many times, and like it's going to happen. I mean, it's just one of those things you have to let happen. It's you can't force anything, but I definitely agree that obviously I haven't been out here that long, but the age from when I first came out here of asking guys when they're going to win their first one versus now is quite a bit different.
Mic number 1, please.
I know when guys turn up to a new course on the PGA Tour, they have all this shot link data to look at, and some guys look at packets about what the scoring average is here. Do you look at those? And then obviously this week, when you don't have the luxury of that, how do you learn this golf course in just 2 days, 3 days?
I don't. I think it's trying to say it as politely as I can. Like it's pretty obvious, you know. It's like I've looked at stuff before, and it's like you go look at Riviera. They're like 13's a hard hole. It's like no kidding. Like it's a tough hole. Like I didn't need a piece of paper to tell me that it's a tough hole. It's one of those things. Comfortability is more important than anything. And if you get a situation like 10, we'll keep use 10 at Riviera where the percentage play is to go for it. But for me, it's not. I mean, I played that hole 1-2 under basically every single year laying up, and it's just a better fit for me. So I think you just play the golf course and you make of it what you can, and then, you know, I mean, that was huge for me coming Monday last week because these practice rounds could be long and grueling. So for me to make this week a little bit shorter, a little easier, I knew what I needed to practice yesterday when I came out. The next 2 days just makes the prep quite a bit easier.
Come out with like a notebook or like on your phone, or will you have? How do you?
Good that, I mean, there's pictures on them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like Bones has to go out there and like shoot this run out and be like, all right, you see that tree that's like this? It's run out right there. It's like no, you get a book and you open it up and it's like from the back of the tee, it's 341 through on that tree, and you're like, all right, sweet. I didn't even need to check anything out. So it definitely makes it easier. But anything that I feel is important or something I might forget, I'll write down.
Mic 2.
Justin, for as long as we've all known Tiger, it's always been about the result and winning and whatnot. I'm wondering if you, as being as close as you are to him and having seen the early stages of his recovery, when you look back at him getting through 4 rounds at Augusta plus practice rounds, what kind of an accomplishment just in and of itself do you think that was?
I mean, it was very big. I think he hasn't been shy in sharing it, and it was one of those things. I think it was in the back of his head of like it'd be great, but I don't think he never really knew until it maybe got close. I don't know, but it was awesome. I mean, I was happy for him. I've seen how hard he's worked. I mean, his team's done an unbelievable job making it as easy as they can for him. But at the same time, he's not your normal person. You know, if he needs to put 2-3 sessions a day in to have a potential to be ready a week earlier, he's going to do that. Versus a lot of people are, you know, they maybe don't make it a priority. And it's really, yeah, it's cool to obviously see him there this week and then again here this week.
Quick follow, when you see him now and you remember the state that you saw him in when you went and visited him, what were your emotions back then in terms of thinking if he'd ever get back in your mind, you know?
It just wasn't about that. It was just about making sure he's okay, making sure mentally he's okay and his family's okay, and it's just you're a friend. I mean, if you know something happened to one of your closest friends, you would reach out to them and their family and just be like, hey, I'm here for you. If you need anything, I'm here to help out, and just let me know, kind of thing.
Mic 9, please.
Justin, 2 parts or 2 questions, not exactly related. One, how long did it take you to get used to playing Bermuda grass? Because you grew up in Kentucky.
A long time.
Okay, and then second, do you have any different clubs that you've put in the bag this week?
I don't. I mean, I use a wedge that's generally a little more on the side of Bermuda than, you know, an Open Championship or bent grass. It's just what I've used most of my professional career, so that's an easy adjustment. I mean, Aaron Dill with Vokey's great to where you can go any week and like, hey, it's like this, or I like it chipping, I don't like it out of the bunker. Why do you think that is? And he'll make his adjustments, and I have full trust in all those guys to where if I ask them a question, they can, you know, answer it for me. So I haven't changed anything personally. It's, I mean, last week was Zoyjo's about as easy as to chip off as you possibly could think of, but fortunately, you know, I've done a lot of practice at home and been on Bermuda enough to where I feel like I know what it's going to do. It's just about executing it.
How long did it take you to get comfortable?
I couldn't give you a timeline, but I mean, it definitely took through college. I mean, at least 4 years, or no, 2 years. Wow, forgot about that. I only went to college for 2 years, so.
2 more questions, 6, and then we'll go to 10.
Justin, your tweet yesterday about the concession prices, is that How did you end up noticing that? Is that something that has been maybe a talker out with you guys in the locker room or something?
Yeah, I mean, I just saw it and I was blown away. Sorry, Julius, it's just a bummer. I mean, it's you want people to want to come to the tournament, and I mean, that's if I'm on the fence and I'm looking at that concession stand, that's not the greatest thing, but at the same time, people aren't like coming to a tournament to necessarily like, oh, I'm going to go buy a Michelob Ultra. You know what I'm saying? So I just was blown away because I've never seen a beer $18 or $19 even in my life, and guys have been talking about it, so I, had to stand up for the fans. I felt it was right.
Plus, the PGA of America told us you need to buy the group tickets where all the food and drink is included, so you don't have to purchase each one individually. Nevertheless, let's move on from beer sales and focus on tee times. Justin Thomas will be going out at 2:14 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, so he will be in the late early wave. He will be accompanied by Patrick Cantlay and Dustin Johnson. Now, here is a big group. The world's number 1, 2, and 3 golfers all grouped together. Also part of the late early wave, 2:36 p.m. Eastern Time for Scotty Scheffler, Jon Rahm, and Colin Morikawa. Someone who's really a bit of a question mark as to whether or not he makes it to his opening round tee time is Bryson DeChambeau. So thought it was worth showing you this one. He has been grouped at 8:49 a.m. Eastern with Tyrrell Hatton and Max Homa, part of the early late wave. He said that all being well, he plans to go ahead, but this is the current situation. He's on the practice facility and just taking a closer look at the surgery recovering hand.
Call it a crucible, where long-forged wisdom fuses with the burning drive of passion. Call it a new page waiting to be turned, or a new story waiting to become a legend. Call it tough. Call it rare. Call it professional. Welcome to the PGA Championship.
KPMG asks, what are you shooting for? Celebrating the next generation of women leaders. KPMG, proud sponsor of the KPMG Women's PGA Championship.
Amazon has a fantastic parental leave. 20 weeks off, fully paid. Spending that extra time with them just meant so much to me. He's only going to be really little once.
Look at you, taking care of yourself, eating delicious Halo Top ice cream, and doing goat yoga, reading more romance novels, and biking to work. You make self-love look easy. Put yourself on top. Halo Top.
On your 6th Lima. Customized car insurance from Liberty Mutual, so they only pay for what they need.
We are not getting you a helicopter.
Only pay?
Liberty, Liberty, Liberty.
Lady Gaga presents the Chromatica Ball Summer Stadium Tour. Verizon Up First Access gives members exclusive access to the pre-sale now. General public on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com.
The world's best return to Tulsa and Southern Hills Country Club, where we'll have the most complete coverage of the season's next major. Live from the PGA Championship, all week on Golf Channel.
Streaming now, only on Peacock.
I wish I was normal.
You're strong, Charlie.
He's a real superhero.
You're gonna change the world. Firestarter, streaming now, only on Peacock.
This week, Callaway staffers have custom staff bags designed with Southern Hills and Tulsa in mind. And you have a chance to take home one of these bags as part of the Callaway Major Staff Bag Giveaway. So enter for a chance to win one of these by simply scanning the QR code on the screen right now. That opportunity begins right now today, and it does end with the conclusion of the tournament on Sunday. So make sure you do so before then. And we will continue our coverage live from the PGA Championship.
Another crazy day,
Of course it is. You're a CIO in 2022. So what's on the agenda?
Just have a look at that and see how.
Morning security briefing. Make that 2. Share that link. Send that contract. See what's trending. Check the traffic on your network in real time with the next generation in global secure networking from Comcast Business. Lunch?
Sure.
You got time. On board 37 new people with 74 new devices.
Does anybody have any questions?
And just as many questions. Shut down a storm of DDoS attacks. Protect headquarters and the cloud with all your data on the nation's largest IP network. Whoa, that is big. Okay, coffee time, double shot. Deal with a potential breach. Deal with your calendar. Deal with your fantasy lineup. And then, that's it? We feeling good? Looks like we're feeling good. Bring on today with unbeatable business solutions from the most innovative company, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Lamkin's fingerprint technology combines a refined feel with high traction, creating a relaxed grip, an easy swing, and more power. Lamkin. Feel is everything.
It's a gas card. You can always use gas.
Always.
You have a...
Thank you.
Hey, do you need gas?
Nope.
How about now?
Still no.
Hey, remember Daddy's birthday's tomorrow.
A gas card. I could use this.
Hey, buddy. Evolve your journey beyond the pump in the first ever Tucson plug-in hybrid EV.
Oh, you're doing it wrong, man. What's wrong with action figures? Nothing. Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies. Whoa, I look good in miniature. Capital One Shopping. What's in your wallet?
A powerful combination of feeling and forgiveness. This sexy piece of art has 2.5 times larger sweet spot. Ladies and gentlemen, the LA Golf Putter.
You guys want to take this outside?
Welcome along to 104th playing of the PGA Championship. We are just into the second hour of our coverage on this Tuesday morning and about to get started with a busy day inside the media building. Rory McIlroy expected to speak to the press as our coverage continues live from the PGA Championship.
Rory's going to have to step on it here on this second side. Has to go for it today with the 3-wood.
The line of the shot was probably around 15 yards left of where I intended.
This could be really close.
You need a little bit of luck in major championships to win, and this is my lucky break.
A shining star at sunset.
Justin Thomas has the lead alone.
I knew that that first cut is so tough to chip out of the rough.
This will be quick.
To have that chip kind of come out perfectly and exactly like I saw, and that was a roar like I've never experienced.
Got it. He's got that feeling.
That chip in was probably the most berserk I've ever gone on the golf course.
Justin Thomas is the PGA champion.
I had no plans on going for 16 at all. Good drive for me is going to land just short of that and going to bounce on up.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The shot of his life. The California kid is the new star in the game of golf.
And those are moments I'm always going to remember.
We'll long remember this one.
Golf Central proudly presents live from the PGA Championship, presented by Callaway Golf and Golf Galaxy.
Well, we've seen a lot of names, a lot of stars, and a lot of players out here on property at Southern Hills Country Club this morning. It was quite a damp start to the day, actually. We had some early storms roll through, some heavy rains as well. Quite benign, calm conditions today. Not really typical of what we will expect this week. Dustin Johnson, one of those busy on a Tuesday morning. now outside the top 10 in the official World Golf Ranking, but with a couple of runner-up finishes at the PGA Championship 2019 to Brooks Koepka and 2020 to Colin Morikawa, as he seeks his third major championship. Ricky Fowler has been delighting the fans this morning already. Not far from where he went to school, the Oklahoma State Cowboy, returning to the PGA Championship thanks to his top 10 finish at Kiowa Island last year. Searching for some form, admitted he's been going through some dramatic changes with his swing coach John Tillery, just added a mental coach to his repertoire as he looks to come back better than he was before. And what about Adam Scott? Well, he seems to be pretty happy and relaxed on this Tuesday morning. Why wouldn't you? You're playing in the PGA Championship. He is making his 22nd appearance. Oh, what an almighty achievement that is. A couple of top 3 finishes he had in 2018 and 2006, but he missed the cut on the Ocean course last year. As we welcome you into our location here overlooking the Fourth Hill at Southern Hills Country Club, Cara Banks, happy to be alongside Paige McKenzie and Nota Begay, and it is nice to see some smiling faces out on the golf course. You know, you just think back to a couple of years ago, Colin Morikawa won in what was obviously a COVID-postponed edition of the PGA Championship. Life certainly feels like it has returned more to normality. We have so many people here, even yesterday on a Monday, so many people here, locals from Tulsa and others that have flown in to embrace being back and being able to watch the world's best compete on the biggest stage.
It's the biggest event in Oklahoma probably this year. So certainly we're attracting large crowds, and I think we've all become pocket meteorologists. You already briefed that this morning we received a little bit of rain, and I know the forecast for the rest of the week looks pretty good. Maybe a little windy as the course continues to dry out, which is going to make it tough for the guys.
Well, last time they played here, you wouldn't use the word pleasant. It's very pleasant out here right now. Overcast, it's nice and cool. Humidity hasn't really kicked in yet, and I don't think that that's going to hold out for the rest of the week. But as far as Tulsa goes and the ability to sort of showcase, you know, one of the premier venues in America, you couldn't ask for a better few days leading up to the event.
Funny we're mentioning the weather because the rain has actually just started to fall again, so kind of a damp morning, not really typical, as I said, or not really what is expected with the forecast later this week. The winds, to Paige's point, are expected to gust up to 35 miles per hour on Friday. How strange is it then, Paige, to be playing, or practicing I should say, in conditions that don't really warrant what we expect the golf course to be like come competition time?
It's good in a lot of ways because it's not going to mess with your swing or your ball as you're in your preparation for the event. But as it relates to lines off the tee that might be dictated by the wind, it makes it a lot more challenging to prepare.
And one more point, Nota, regarding when we were last here in 2007. It was scorching hot. It was obviously in August before the PGA was moved back to May. Tiger did go ahead, of course, and win the trophy that week. Aaron Oberholzer was on our set yesterday and will be with us later today. He finished fourth that week and said it was the hottest, most challenging conditions he has ever played golf in. How different do you expect it to be this week, given what they had to endure 15 years ago?
Oh, it was sweltering hell on earth, but it's not going to be that. So, you know, it will heat up a little bit, but certainly not going to be dealing with those sort of extreme temperatures.
Okay, well, wind perhaps, and warm weather, but we're looking at kind of the 80s. We won't be breaking the hundreds like we did 15 years ago. Okay, so Rory McIlroy, 2012, shot a final round 66 to win this major championship at Kiowa Island, actually, for his second major title. He finished some 8 strokes ahead of David Lynn to set a PGA Championship record for that margin of victory. Then, 2 years later, but 8 years ago, he won his 4th major and second Wanamaker Trophy. 4 rounds in the 60s for a 1-stroke victory in the dark almost at Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville, Kentucky. Then fast forward to last month, bearing in mind Rory has not won a major since Valhalla in 2014, but he has a lot of momentum. Consecutive top 5 finishes culminated at the Masters with that hole out on 18, the most excited, he says, he has ever been on a golf course. It saw him climb the leaderboard and finish runner-up to Scottie Scheffler at the Masters last month, thanks to a Sunday 64. Rory McIlroy is now with the media, and to begin this conversation, he was asked about his thoughts on Phil Mickelson.
Unfortunate. Sad. I think
this should be a celebration, right? I mean, he won a major championship at 50 years old. It was, possibly his last, big moment in the game of golf, and he should be there. I think he should be here this week and celebrating what monumental achievement he achieved last year. So it's unfortunate, it's sad. I don't know what else I can say.
Question on 13.
Yeah, Rory, you said at Augusta.
Hi, Kyle.
What's up, Rory? You said at Augusta that you talked about sort of staying in it early on in a major to kind of make your way into potentially winning it, and yet all 4 of your wins have been kind of from out in front early on. How do you kind of reconcile those two things with getting out to a big lead versus as a more experienced golfer trying to stay in it?
Yeah, I think the 4 wins. I don't think you can plan. You can't plan on getting out ahead. That's just something that happens if you play well and you get some momentum, and you're sort of feeling it. So it's not as if I went out with the mindset those 4 tournaments of I'm going to go out and shoot 65 the first 2 days and let them all come and catch me. It just sort of happened. So, and I think over the past few years, the things that have stopped me from getting in contention or being able to win these majors is big numbers and shooting myself out of it sort of early. And I can even think back to Augusta. I finished 3 behind in the end, and I went bogey, double bogey on 10 and 11 on Friday. You go par there, and all of a sudden there's those 3 shots. So it doesn't take much in major championships to it's tiny margins, and look, I'd love to go out those weeks and get a lead and build on it, but that unfortunately isn't going to happen all the time. So I think the most consistent way to get yourself to be able to have chances to win these major championships is to sort of adopt that conservative strategy, and I think Tiger did it most of his career, and okay, he had a couple of huge wins in there, but a lot of times being conservative with his strategy, letting other guys make the mistakes. Pars are pretty good at major championships, and that's sort of the philosophy that I believe in going forward.
Question on 9.
Rory, just wonder whether you saw Greg Norman's comments last week. We all make mistakes and all of that, and what you thought about it.
We do all make mistakes, but it was. I think Greg is in a very tough position because he's taken the role of being the leader of something that is very divisive, and Greg can sit with the media for 5 hours and give 4 hours and 50 minutes of pretty good answers, and the 10 minutes that he maybe drops his guard is what's going to be picked up on. So I just think he's in a no-win situation, and he's made that decision himself, and he has to deal with the questions that are being thrown at him, and it's certainly not a position that I'd like to be in.
Mike 3.
Rory, you spent some time around Tiger the last year and a half and seen what he's had to go through. Is any part of you surprised that he's actually here this week?
No, not really. I mean, I think I don't know, has it been 6 weeks or so since Augusta? So 6 weeks is a long enough time to recover from that week and then build yourself back up again. And he certainly hasn't chosen 2 of the easiest walks in golf to come back to Augusta and here. So, but no, I mean, he's stubborn, he's determined, he's, this is what he lives for. He lives for these major championships, and he's, if he believes he can get around 18 holes, he believes he can win.
Mike 9.
Hi, Rory. Just wondering if you can just sum up sort of the level of confidence you have in your game right now after the Masters and Wells Fargo. Just how confident are you feeling going into the week?
I feel good about my game. I've done some good work, and One of the things that I've tried to work on and I've done well, I've led greens in regulation the last 2 tournaments I've played. That's something that hasn't quite been there. And that's something you need to do, especially around here. You hit greens here, you're gonna give yourself birdie chances. The targets are pretty small, pretty limited with where the hole locations will be. So you hit it into the middle of the greens here, you're going to have decent chances. So I'm feeling pretty good about that part of the game. And then short game's been there as well. I mean, I focused a lot on iron play and chipping and putting last week in practice because I knew that was basically that's sort of going to be the key to having a good week this week. So I feel good about it all, and I'm certainly in a better place with my game than where I was this time last year going into Kayla. So I'm happy about that.
Microphone 5.
Rory, we saw the emotion at the Ryder Cup. I'm just curious how big of a motivation that was for you over the off season and maybe at the start of this year as well.
Yeah, it was a big turning point. I had an awful week at the Ryder, an awful couple of days anyway. And then I sort of freed my mind up and played better in the singles and got that win against Xander, and that sort of gave me a little bit of confidence. And then I built on that and got the win in Vegas in the fall. And then I've played pretty consistently, good golf since then. So it was a big turning point for me. I went down a path that I thought was going to help make some improvements, and it didn't quite work out that way. So just went back to basics and went back to trying to figure out what I did well and just keep doing that. And it's been good. I've played pretty consistent golf since then. I think I dropped out of the top 10 at some point during that period, and then I've got myself back up there and sort of working my way back up. So it's been a good few months.
And then real quick, I just wanted to piggyback off his question about the iron game and strokes gained approach. What specific things have you been working on technically with your irons?
Flighting it down a little bit, getting comfortable taking a club more and hitting it easy. Left pins is something that hasn't been a strong suit of mine this year. That sort of showed up in the stats, so trying to practice a little more to left pin positions and trying to get comfortable with shots I'm trying to hit in. And that's really it. Sort of, you just hit a ton of balls and you sort of figure it out.
Microphone 12, please.
Rory, it's a little while since you made your sort of dead in the water gathering momentum.
Yeah, I might have been a little presumptuous at that point. It seems like it's still going, and Greg and everyone behind it are very determined. And I think we're just going to have to see how it plays out. Guys are going to make decisions, and honestly, it's going to shape the future of professional golf one way or another. So I think we're just going to have to see how it all shakes out.
Microphone 8, please.
Hi, Rory. I'm curious, during a week when the temperature is just like really hot, probably losing a bit more weight than usual, do you do anything different to get your body in preparation for a week like this? And if so, what?
Yeah, I've actually tried to, I got a little light after Augusta. Like, I always lose a bit of weight there, but I've tried to put on some weight since then. Probably put on like 10 pounds since the Masters. Not all muscle, probably a little bit of excess fat in there somewhere too. It hasn't been quite as disciplined as I'd wanted it to be, but it's decent that when you have, and I have a long stretch. I'm playing 5 in the next 6 weeks, so it's to have a little bit in reserve and sort of that extra energy stores and stuff is never a bad thing. I always notice when I do put a bit of weight on, my speed goes up, so that's something that I guess is an added benefit.
And how much weight do you usually use during a week like this? Do you keep track or?
Not really.